All right, guys. After 5 months of waiting for an update, Steel City Interactive has dropped 1.3, the new game hotfix, promoting the Iron and Steel DLC for $20, and they gave you this amount of changes after 5 months of waiting. So, personally, I did not come out of pocket for any DLC. The gameplay that you'll be seeing is not promoting any of the new DLC fighters. Now, I know for a fact that a lot of people who watch my channel specifically are more online competitive players, so I will not be covering any of the career mode changes. I will not be covering any of the new venues, nor will I be talking about anything that is not really anything online specific or gameplay specific. The reason being because honestly that is what matters, and that is what we as a community really want. We want a game that works, we want a game that functions correctly, and we want a game that is actually playable and can hold our attention and is skill based. Right now we have not been getting that, and that is the real reason I will say to you guys, do not purchase the DLC for $20. To address the other side of the community, which I see is actually very active in terms of wanting DLC, wanting changes and stuff to career mode, and simply playing this game casually, I can see that you guys are in the majority, so that is the reason that they keep focusing on DLC changes or the changes that they think matter. So I want you to know, as a player that watches this channel, you are in the minority. So the reason a lot of the gameplay changes aren't really being pushed as heavily as they should be, not only is because they're complicated issues to fix, but also it just seems that more people are more concerned about the casual aspects than they are about the things that really matter. But all that aside, I'm only covering this because you guys kept asking me yesterday during the live stream, and every time I'm live streaming you guys keep saying, what do I think about the changes? So rather than me just ranting about it on stream, I just decided to make a formal video about it. So this is the changes that were made. We're going to go over each bullet point in depth, and I'll give you guys my opinion on it. So they made some minor adjustments to how punch targeting and tracking work, and they're currently playtesting a more impactful improvement right now, and if the playtesting goes well, then they will ship these changes to everyone in another update as soon as they can. So you guys know I'm a playtester. Anything playtesting related I cannot say because of NDA, but I can say this much: I ain't playtest shit. I'm pretty sure I can say that. So I don't know what changes they're going to be making, and if I did, honestly I couldn't speak about it. They rebalanced block health. The longer you continuously hold your block, the more damage your block health will take. Continuously holding your block will also now slow down your ability to block again after throwing a punch by reducing the animation speed, allowing your opponent to more easily work around your block if you're overusing it. So this is my opinion when it comes to that. The main reason players hold their hands up in a high guard 90% of the time is because 1, slipping doesn't work, 2, head movement doesn't work unless if you're leaning back, and then 3, the directional dodge doesn't even work as it used to. So the only thing you can really do to defend yourself is to block or run around in loose movement. But if you want to engage in the fight, you're going to have to block. So I've been saying this when it comes to blocking for a very long time. I don't think players should be punished for wanting to hold up a high guard. Marlon Starling does it. Ricardo Finito Lopez was known for holding his hand in position all the time. Arthur Abraham also utilized the high guard. There are fighters like Winky Wright who love to use the high guard, and they made their entire career based off of that style. So if a player wants to go around and hold his hands up 24/7, that is his prerogative, and I don't think that the balanced team should be doing anything to stop a player from holding his hands up continuously and walking around the ring, because the best thing that they can do is simply buff the body damage. Because if you ever notice, you don't see nobody holding up a high guard against Canelo Alvarez. You want to know why? The damage on his hooks are ridiculously strong. Now I'm not saying it has to be that strong, but when a player is getting hit in his body, he will naturally drop his hands. Also, players don't always hold up their high guard anyway because of the broken step and jab animation downstairs to the body. So you will constantly see players not just holding their hands high, especially if they play ranked. Another reason players hold their hands up 24/7 is because of the desync. So you can't always predict what it is that your opponent is going to throw at you. So to prevent yourself from getting hit by ghost punches, you need to hold your block high and protect your head, because you cannot react to what it is that your opponent is throwing at you 90% of the time due to the desync, the ghost punching, and the online lag. So all of that in combination is going to make you naturally hold your hands high. That's just how it works. So by doing this balance and retweak to try to get players to stop using a high guard, it's only going to make it so that the block will now be inconsistent. And even when you are finding yourself in situations where you should be able to block certain shots, they're going to just simply slip through your guard now. The little play testing I have done, I have definitely experienced his punches just going through my block. And another issue that has really been key for this game is punches were already getting through the block, especially power shots, which is what people love to throw, especially the power rear hook that has still not been balanced. Also, another character that, by character I mean boxer, you don't see nobody really just holding high block against Roy Jones Jr. either. Why? His rear hook to the body is extremely fast. So this myth that's going around that players just want to hold their block high continuously, it is definitely not true. The best thing that they can do for blocking, the simplest change that they can do, because I don't think we're going to get 6-axis blocking at this point, nor is this game's hand speed balanced enough to even be utilizing the 6-axis block at this point. And people who complain about super block is just simply a skill issue, because they should be mixing up their punches, is the thing I recommended earlier. Buff the body damage, and if you are blocking high and they are thrown to the head, then that simply means those shots should be blocked. If you are guarding low and they are throwing body shots, then those shots should be blocked. That is the best thing that they can do for the block, and I hope those changes get implemented at some point. And they can also make the block look a lot more fancier by giving, parry animations and just making it look cool when you do see shots being blocked. That will make the gameplay look more more interactive, since they're not going to bring back catch and shoot or any type of parry system, it seems. And if they do, God knows what else it's going to break. Now, that is my opinion on blocking and what I think they should do. Let's move on to where it says about the temporary remove flash knockouts from the game due to an issue that caused the game to lock. I don't know what they mean by lock. I'm really not even sure or aware of what that problem is. And they said flash knockdowns remain unimpacted. So this is my opinion when it comes to that. Flash knockouts should not be online, because no player wants to win based on a flash knockout. And if you are severely ahead in a fight and you get flash knocked out, you're sick. Players want to have the results in their hands. So if you want to have flash knockouts offline, career mode, player versus player, totally fine. But when it comes to playing online, flash knockouts need to stay removed. That is my opinion when it comes to that. The only other things that I think is something I'm interested in covering, the rating changes will be way too much during this to cover in one video. So I'm not going to even sit there and go over all the changes that have been done to the ratings. We're going to talk about the bug fixes. So after about 5 months of waiting, you guys can now play 8 rounds of boxing, because they have fixed the 8th round glitch that was going on. And they have another bullet point that says they fixed online scoring syncing to ensure accurate results. I don't know if this is for the records. I don't know if this is for the scorecards. I have no clue what that actually means. And once again, when it comes to Still City Interactive giving us bullet points that may not be understood by everybody, I wish they would go more in depth so that players can actually understand what they're fixing when it comes to bug changes. Also, I think another one that is pretty important to cover, just rereading it, visually. If you're a trophy hunter, you can now get that achievement, because they fixed the issue preventing the Undisputed achievement from unlocking correctly. So that is pretty much it in terms of things that I think is important for this channel. Let me know what you guys think in the scorecards. If you tested the scorecards, let me know what you think in the comment section below. about the changes and, you know, my suggestions, and any suggestions you might have that can get passed along, let me know, and I'll pass on what information I can to the team. Anyway, it's been your boy Fight Night's Finest, the Sophist commentator, and guess what? I'm off this. Peace.